I was in a room with 4 other white students, because there were no other black students. And every day, the black janitor would come up. Now, remember, back in the 60s in Baltimore, it was segregated. And he would empty everybody's wastebasket, but he wouldn't empty mine. And pretty soon, the students in the room noticed it too. So they said, we're going to talk to him. I said, no, it's mine. I got to do it. You leave it to me. I said, but when you see him come one day, I want everybody out of the office so I can talk to him. So one day, the time came, he was coming down the hall, and they all went out. And they said, he's coming. So he came in, and he emptied their wastebasket and walked on by mine. And I stood up, and I sort of blocked his way, and I said, pardon me. I said, why don't you empty my wastebasket? He said, you know you're not supposed to be here. Mm. And I flashed back to my father. You know, I said,
yes.
Segregation and racism has destroyed this guy's individual, his ability to think for himself. You know, it just. So he's now doing what he thinks is right. You know, how can you distort a person's mind that way? And that's what segregation racism does. It can destroy your brain. You know.
That's right.
And I'm always convinced, like W.E.B. Du Bois, I think the more intelligent you are, the harder it is.
Yes.
Because you can't take it, because you know.
Yes. Yes.
But anyway, I said to him, I said, well, look, I said, the university has accepted me. I said, the professors in the department have accepted me. And those students that are in this room have accepted me. I said, I really feel really good if you would accept me too.
Oh, that was a different way.
And he said,
to approach
he just dumped my wastebasket in there, and then he emptied it from then on, and I would speak to him. I got his name, and I said, how are you, Mr. Jones, or whatever. I don't remember his name now.
That was a wonderful way to resolve that problem.
But I said, I told that to the people of Hopkins. They said, I can't believe. I said, well, you need better.
Oh, yes.